The total addressable market for legal electronic money in the world today is over $100 trillion. That's the amount of legal electronic money there is in the world, in different currencies within all of the banking systems globally, right? So you have this huge market of legal electronic money. The total amount of revenue generated from the payment utility on that is over $1.5 trillion. So you're talking about huge, huge markets. The internet has never actually, like the media market, the communications market, like this is a big market, right?
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Jeremy Allaire, the CEO of Circle, which is, of course, the company behind USDC. Now, we know that Ripple is about to enter the stablecoin arena. E-money stands at a market cap of $100 trillion and an estimated revenue of $1.5 trillion annually. Now, just to put that into perspective, the largest company in the entire world, which is currently Apple right now, annually last year made round about $389 billion. So, we have been taking people down the XRP rabbit hole, and we've been doing it recently. We haven't been one of these ding-dongs that has been covering XRP for the past 8 years, only for it to be at the same price that it was 8 years ago. Now, I know this because I was buying XRP in 2018, but we've decided to pivot as a channel and to start to highlight XRP because of the technical, i.e. charts, and the sort of emergency or urgent nature of where it's currently at and where we think it's going. Those of you that have not watched our XRP price prediction, please do go and do so, just to sort of refresh people in regards to where we think XRP's price is going to start things off. We have a target of $19.27. Based on the pattern that XRP is currently in, the same pattern that you see highlighted all over the place. Even the guy from the German Stock Exchange was highlighting it. The difference is we know what this pattern is, and do go and watch that video. We break down what we think the pattern is and go into it a little bit more detail. We'll put a link to it in the description. We know what this pattern is, and we know how to predict a price prediction from it. Unlike the vast majority of people that are looking at this and saying, some people even saying, okay, well, it did this back in sort of leading into 2017, and you're going to get a similar move to the same percentages. We're saying it's not going to be to the same percentages, but it's going to be to percentages that you're going to be very happy with. So we know technically XRP is signaling to do something spectacular. And to pivot back into it, this kind of move that we're getting in the short term, look at the strength of it. And you're marching towards what we believe is going to be the triggering event at 94 cents that is going to see this price prediction be in play. Once you pass that 94 cents mark, which I think is going to happen in a short succession of time, you're going to see XRP really start to move. And I have said this, and I'll say it again, I've never wanted a community to win so badly. The XRP community has dealt with nothing but crap thrown at them. And I'm, whether that be from regulators, whether that be from other crypto communities, however, when you understand what Ripple and thus XRP are trying to do, it is address a genuine use case for distributed ledgers in the form of the remittance markets globally, which are very clunky, and XRP can entirely transform and innovate. But there's other things that it will also do in doing that. We've previously been saying we think that Ripple is going to become a unicorn company of the United States. Just like Amazon, just like Facebook, just like Google, just like Microsoft, we think Ripple will become, they are going to go public, one of the largest companies in the world. And it's because of what they're going to do and the market that they're going to address and how they are going to enable the United States dollar and the United States as a whole to maintain global leadership digitally and from a monetary point of view. Right now, the United States is in an absolute mess. Just within the past, just over 24 hours, the United States has reached $35 trillion in debt. Since 2020, the debt has grown 50%. Obviously, we know and we cover it on a daily basis what's going on kind of macroeconomically. There's, at the same time as the United States ending up in a lot of debt, we see nations deciding to dump United States dollar debt and lose faith in it. And this kind of questioning of the dollar and the debt system that it is. There needs to be a savior, and I think this savior comes in the form of stablecoins. And actually, we were lucky enough to interview the CEO of Archax, which recently partnered with Ripple, and they are looking to use money market funds, which are debt-based instrument funds, treasury funds, essentially, that you get a percent of, as payments. Which is, to come on to the next point, what Paul Ryan is essentially saying. And we've said that this is one reason. So a former House Speaker, Paul Ryan, we looked at that Wall Street Journal argument or article that said that stablecoins could be the answer to staving off a US debt crisis in the form of a buyer of that debt. And this is where Ripple are going to set in. Do you think the United States government wants a foreign, i.e. non-US company to have the monopoly or the lion's share of US dollar stablecoins? Now, we can go, technically, because we're technical traders here, even further than this and say when we look at USDT, Dom, we've got major downside targets for this. We think USDT, Dom, is coming all the way down to 1.3%. That's dominance of the overall market, not stablecoin market, crypto market. Generally, today it sits at 3.8. We get the same thing talking about Circle in regards to USDC. I do apologize, guys. This is market cap, which is interesting to look at if you're looking at, the market kind of moves with this. So who's going to be that player that steps in? Our prediction is that it's going to be Ripple's real USD. And I want to read this article and sort of highlight this once more, because this is why Ripple is going to become a unicorn company. This is why Ripple is going to be used. So Paul Ryan, the former Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, published an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal last week claiming that stablecoins could be the magic bullet to address the country's looming fiscal train wreck. I normally don't pay these sort of pieces much attention since the typical involve, as the case here, a former politician shilling for whatever industry is paying them these days. This one, though, deserves more consideration than most. So it says, Ryan, you may recall, made his name as a young firebrand in the Tea Party of GOP faction devoted to fiscal prudence back when the Republican Party still cared about such things. In his op-ed, he takes up his old crusade by pointing out correctly that the US's debt is spiraling out of control, and the day is coming when the Feds holds yet another treasury auction to prop up the balance sheet, only to find there are no takers. As Ryan notes, long-time buyers of US debt like China and Saudi Arabia have already started to pull back, threatening the long-term status of the dollar as the world reserve currency, a status that makes it cheap for America to borrow and lets it flex enormous economic influence overseas. What to do about this? The obvious answer is to reform runaway Social Security and Medicare spending, which actually puts... So when we talk about this debt clock, just to pivot on this and talk about this, this doesn't include promises, okay, commitments. It's more like $100+ trillion that the US is in debt if you take into account Medicare and Social Security. But neither Trump nor Biden dare to touch that, and so we have Ryan's plan B. Stable coins. This is why Ripple is going to become the company, one of the largest companies in the world. We already know it's a massive market they're addressing as it is, but they're going to fundamentally transform the debt markets. So Ryan observes that if fiat-backed dollar stablecoin issuers like Tether USDC and PayPal were a country, its US debt holdings would exceed those of Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, he makes the point, if other countries are successful at bolstering their currency's influence while dumping treasury debt, the US will need to find new ways to make the dollar more attractive. Dollar-backed stablecoins are one answer. It goes on to say it's not a crazy idea. Stablecoins are taking off in countries like Nigeria and Argentina, where lousy rulers have made citizens reluctant to hold their local currencies. I mean, it's just impossible. I mean, look at what's happening in Argentina. They are also cheap and easy to move around, as Ryan points out. Permissionless blockchains come packaged with the deeply American values of reform and openness. The more widely stablecoins spread and the more people there will be with a vested interest in the success of the US economy. Ryan doesn't point it out, but there are also downsides with stablecoins. They are hard to, or even impossible for US Treasury to control. So their spread will undercut the government's ability to use tools like SWIFT banking systems to impose sanctions. But adversaries have already found plenty of other ways to dodge the long arm of the US fiscal enforcement. So on balance, there would likely be more good than bad if the government came to embrace stablecoins. The best option would be for American political leaders to get serious about the country's frightening national debt. But if they won't do that, then turning to stable coins would help to keep the US afloat. There is no getting serious about the US debt. You are never going to pay it off. It has one route ahead of it: continued proliferation and indebtedness. And then is there some kind of a jubilee? Even the stable coins won't sort of stave it off. And the interesting thing is, certainly going back to sort of a digital dollar, if Trump wins, and I think he's very likely to do so, he's vowed to never allow for a CBDC that's going to be made. We have bills that's been passed within the House that essentially null and void the government or the Fed from actually running a stablecoin or CBDC. So who is that going to be left to do? Tether? I doubt it very much. It's more than likely going to be a US company, just like the US uses the companies that it has within its jurisdiction to essentially control the internet. They also are going to control, they already do through the central bank, but they're kind of losing control a little bit, money itself. Ripple is going to play a role in that. Mark my words on this, guys. And this is why, technically, we're seeing what we're seeing for the token. Also, why do Ripple hold so much XRP? Well, of course, they need it for utility. But also, if they do go public and XRP, let's say it gets to $19, that's a very nice balance sheet for them to have in terms of assets and evaluation that they derive as a result of it. So, very nice to see the kind of price action that we're seeing from XRP. Very much predicted by us here on the channel. Again, understand that we haven't been mindlessly talking about XRP all this time. And to defend these people, I know that there's been a lot of them that have given us a lot of negativity, through jealousy. I think it's because of the viewership that we're getting on this channel at the moment. Some of our XRP videos getting 40, 50, 60,000 views, the average sort of sitting around the 10 to 20,000 mark. Thanks very much, guys, for the viewership. We really do appreciate it. We're going to continue to bring you content as a result of it. But to their defense, there's always been an element of truth there. We've just gone, okay, technically, this looks ready to rock and roll. And the strength that you're seeing in this recent move is kind of telling you what's coming, and I expect this strength to continue. Once you take that $94 range, or cents range, sorry, $94, wouldn't we all like that? You really are off to the races. So that's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. Very interesting, everything that's going on. Also, we saw the SEC drop the need for the judge to rule that the 63 altcoins that were mentioned in the Binance case are securities. We know that Ripple or XRP isn't a security. And we do think that lawsuit's going to come to a head very soon. And of course, technically, we know something's coming. Fundamentally, the story and the stage is very well set. That's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed the content, appreciate it. So as a comment, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next.